So let's have a look at my favorite technique, juxtaposition, and what it really means and how we can actually go about analyzing it in an image. It's good to note juxtaposition isn't just a visual technique. It can be used in novels and whatnot, but it's easier just to understand visually. So let's have a look at the definition here. This is just grabbed straight from Google. The fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effect. So there needs to be a contrast there. There needs to be two opposing things that are somewhat different in nature, which serves to amplify the qualities of each thing that is being juxtaposed. So a good word that sort of relates to this is dichotomy. So there needs to be a dichotomy which can be defined as sort of a contrast, I guess. So an example of dichotomy is black and white, good and evil, big versus small, things that are opposing each other. So yeah, things that oppose each other would be a better explanation of dichotomy than just contrast. So let's have a look at this image here. We've got a really small kid's bike juxtaposed against a really big military tank. So this is my explanation of it. One of the biggest mistakes that students make is they'll identify that juxtaposition is being used, but they won't actually explain how. So that's something we need to do. We need to say how juxtaposition actually is used and how it serves to actually have a desired effect. So this is my explanation. So we can observe a child's toy bike in front of a large military tank. The distinct differences between these two objects serve to amplify their features. For example, the toy bike seems even more small and flimsy, while the tank appears to be even bigger and more intimidating. So this is how juxtaposition is a good technique, because if that big tank was just there by itself, we would take it on face value. But if we put a little flimsy toy bike in front of it, then we reconsider what this tank actually symbolizes. And similarly, if this was just a toy bike here and there was no big tank behind it, we would take it on face value. It's just a kid's bike, whatever, but we see a big tank behind it. This seems a lot more small, a lot more flimsy, a lot more sort of kiddish. This also creates many dichotomies, big, small, adult, kid, dark, bright, serious, funny, all these sort of dichotomies that are created from this image. And that's why I like juxtaposition as a technique so much. Here's another example. So we've got Beauty and the Beast here. This sort of shows how juxtaposition is used everywhere. So a very common one in movies and things like that, just in a general way. So this is my explanation. The Beauty and the Beast is a typical example of juxtaposition being used to amplify the characteristics of very different characters. Because they are so unlike, the beauty becomes even more beautiful while the beast seems to be even more shocking. Obviously, it's important to relate this to the question you're trying to answer. So if juxtaposition doesn't help you actually answer the question you're trying to answer, then leave it out. But usually it will in some way, because it does serve to amplify certain things. That's why I really like juxtaposition. So hopefully that's helped you. Remember, don't just mention juxtaposition, actually explain how it's used. And usually it'll be in some way serving to amplify characteristics. It'll be showing certain features. For instance, here we see that the woman is really pretty, the beast is quite ugly and confronting, because they're next to each other. They're very different. So it revolves around a sense of difference. Hopefully this has helped you guys. Thanks.